10
No,
million
they can use the subscription model for certain things like personal ads. People are really desperate, all right? They're going to pay for personals. They're going to pay for fantasy sports. There are things that you can pay for. Email is so common, it's not it's not a special niche. No one's going to pay for email.
Really, and it's the cost of switching to Microsoft's products, because Hotmail was running FreeBSD previously. The whole expensive software. They have to pass those prices on to someone.
Now I need a little voice of reason. Bob from EVP over at RonaStar. My opinion, it just sounds like the 20-somethings thinking I want something else for free.
Well, I just think it is a generational thing. I think older people are used to paying for things. I think they don't see email as anything more than just another product that you might buy or not buy. Younger people think that the email should be free. And the whole internet is supposed to be free, but it's slowly changing to be tough.
Someone has to pay.
You gotta pay.
But the consumer is king.
That's right. Last week, yeah.
Consumers. I think consumer or customer, by definition,
No, there's a difference between consumer and customer. A customer pays.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Customer, by definition, is someone who pays for goods or services.
I don't think anyone's caring about paying for Hotmail. It's whether it's worth paying $20 a month and getting booted off the way they're doing it.
Their premium service give you 10 megs. I'll use up that space in like a week with all of my attachments. That's nothing. I was going to say, Runbox, you're paying $29 and you're getting 100 megs of storage space. At least you're not going to be able to get rid of all that. Well, I could do it in 3 months, but it's better than what Hotmail's going to do. Yeah.
Webbox is $10 a year. I mean, they're much cheaper alternatives.
That's it. I think the real issue with Hotmail is that it was sold as one thing and now it's something else. And I think that's the real problem. And it's a typical Microsoft circumstance. Look at all this wonderful stuff you're getting. Oh, you didn't get that? Oh, it didn't work the way it was advertised? Sorry.
Well, I don't think it's even a Microsoft. I mean, the change in the internet for 5 years, it is so much, it's a different beast now.
Right.
I mean, Mike, why don't they just, Mike Bogovich over at the Net Squad, why don't they just use their home email? Why bother? If you don't like it, use AOL or something else.
I think, like Bob was saying, I mean, the whole thing about the paradigm shift, they hook people in with, hey, it's free, and then when that model didn't work out, well, you're going to have to cough up some bucks now. That's going to just lose that audience that you had. I mean, I think Outpost is another one. I remember getting an email in my inbox from Outpost, from the president of Outpost saying, you are now going to have to pay for overnight shipping. At least they were upfront and honest about it. I mean, I thought that was actually kind of noble. I mean, I wasn't exactly offended about it because the service was very good from those guys. But I think you're right. That paradigm shift is going to happen, and wow, you're going to have to pay for something.
Plus, when you get it for free, it's an identity thing. Think about kids sending out their resumes. I had a friend who did this. He graduated from college, and he put his Hotmail address down with all of his resumes, how to reach him. Now he's desperate for a job, and Hotmail is failing him in the meantime. That's the way that people are going to contact him. That's the primary means. And people say, well, why didn't you put 5 email addresses down? Because that's not professional. So, this is the problem that we have. It's the way that people reach you. This is the way they've known how to reach you for a long time. And now you're going to have to switch that and get the word out. And that's kind of hard to do.
Why don't they just use his dial-up account?
Well, you have another issue. I mean, you have an address at home. Your home is your address. And if you move, you have an obligation to tell people you moved. Right. Now, you can ask the post office to put out a redirect on your mail, and I want a show of hands for everyone who believes that if they put that out,
that
your
works
mail
well.
will be
W2
direct.
season right here.
Exactly. So I think it is a paradigm shift. I think we were used to being able to have an email address for a long period of time, to very competent, simple service, and now all of a sudden it's been thrown into a turmoil. Now everybody's in an uproar, and rightly so. I'm not saying you shouldn't be in an uproar, but expect it. It's part of how the game is changing. You got to pay 34 cents to send a letter.
37.
37.
Pretty soon.
Going up.
37.
Right. Well, you're now going to have to pay to send your email. That's what it comes down to.
So what's wrong with that?
I don't know.
What's wrong with 5 or 10 cents for sending an email or something?
It's not even.
I don't think anyone's complaining about that. I think there's just cheaper alternatives, and the way that Microsoft's forcing people to pay is not as...
Yeah, but it's not them alone. Lycos has already come out with that. Yahoo's coming out with it. I mean, that's the shift. Yeah. Someone has to pay for this.
Sure. Just be
look at it
upfront.
this way. Would you go up to a phone booth, pick up the receiver, and just start dialing? No, you got to put the quarters and everything.
Not if you use a paperclip. Come on, any 6th grader did this. I watched it. I was captivated by it.
What I'm trying to say is,
please come
expectations there.
Right, exactly.
I knew people who would imitate the sound of the coins dropping, so that's great stuff right there.
And the Captain Crunch whistles.
Captain
yes, we all.
Yep.
That's right. Get that dial tone. Whistle it down.
Jeff brought up a good point about the gentleman sending out his email and things of that sort. What about hot jobs? Is that worth having anymore?
No, I would say that the way the market space is going now is people are looking for sites that are catering to certain professions. Like if I'm looking for a journalism job, I'm going to go to journalismjobs.com because it's a more specialized site, and there's a lot more traffic there for the type of people I would want to be paired up with. Hot Jobs and a lot of these sites, they try to be everything to everyone, and I think in the process that they wind up failing everyone. I mean, you look at all these things. I mean, it could be anything from a programming job to a web design, publishing job. I mean, they seem to cover everything, and they don't specialize in anything really at the same time. And they're going to lose a lot of traffic. And a lot of companies do their own recruiting sites now. They figure they can do the service for themselves, so they don't have to pay for these expensive listings.
But actually, they're using the Hot Job engine and a Monster Board engine